Hello everyone. We want to take a few minutes of your time to familiarize all of you with the new assessment portal that you're going to be utilizing on our November 4th Data Day. So the first thing that we're going to have you do is access the portal. The web address is at the top. You can copy that into your browser in order to access the portal that you see here. Then you're going to go down to Park Practice Tests, and you're going to click Requires Login, click to log in, next to the Park Practice Test Teacher Analysis Entering page. You're going to use your database username and password in order to sign in. And when you click on the link, you will now be granted permission into the portal. Now, if you're a math teacher, all of your math standards have been uploaded into the database thanks to Mr. Ozdemir, who designed this portal for us. If you're an ELA teacher, you're going to switch the subject area and you're going to filter the standards for your particular grade level. So we're going to do 4th grade as an example, and now all the 4th grade ELA standards are listed here on the left-hand side. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to select the standard that you would like to move over to the right side. If you hold down the Shift or Control key on your keyboard, you can select more than one standard at a time. Or you can select them individually. Once I've moved my standards over to the right side of the column, the right column, you're going to click Add to My List. You will then receive a confirmation message on the right-hand side confirming that those standards have been added. If you attempt to add standards that are already on this list, you will receive an error message because those standards are already listed there. Now, I was playing with this earlier, which is why there's more standards here listed than what I actually clicked to move over here. Now, how am I going to decide which standards are going to be moved from the left to the right? Below this box here, by the time we meet on November 4th, there will be a PDF linked here with your students' personal data for the classes that you teach. The threshold for which standards you're going to pick will be different depending on your subject area and your grade level. For ELA teachers, any standard that was not mastered by 80%, you are going to move over from the left to the right list. So once I've selected all my standards that need to be moved over, I'm going to click on the particular standard. So I'm going to start first with RL 4.1. When I click on the standard, you're going to see these boxes below. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to identify the question numbers on the Park Prep 1 exam that were linked to RL 4.1. You can either access Link It to be able to do this, to identify the questions that were linked to the standard, and or you may be able to access it on the PDF that is provided to you below. Worst case scenario, Link It has all this information. So let's say questions 1, 10, 16, and 18 were all linked to RL 4.1. I will indicate it here. And the success rate, which will definitely be indicated on the PDF that's going to be specific to your classes below, the success rate will have to be below 80%. So let's say this particular standard, only 55% of students in my class mastered this standard. Do not put the percentage sign here. The coding only, it's only necessary for the coding that you put the number. No need for the percent sign, so 55%. Then I tabbed over to my analysis, and I'm going to be able to type now my analysis of why RL 4.1 was a struggle for my students. So the first thing that they need to do is look at these particular questions to analyze why they might have had difficulty with these questions in this particular standard, and I'm going to put that analysis here. You've been provided a sample of what that analysis might look like. This is an old action plan from back in 2011 that I created for ELA. For example, here I identified why I thought students had difficulty with this standard. They had difficulty with context clues, and the best answer that was linked to the literary elements in the story was a challenge. So this was my analysis for why they had difficulty with this particular question. So this type of analysis would go in this box here. So we would put something like students had difficulty using the appropriate context clues to identify the best choice for the answer. If there's something more specific, if there was a specific word in one of the questions that maybe you felt that students' vocabulary, they were not able to recognize it, you could put it here too. So this is as specific as possible. Actions to take. In this box, you're going to talk about what you are going to do to remediate this particular standard. Again, in the sample that was provided to you, there is a narrative as to what I was planning to do in order to remediate this particular standard. There are a variety of different things that you can do, and the district program directors and the coaches will be having conversations with you around what is appropriate to put here. Do students need to be regrouped? Does there need to be a whole class reteach of a mini lesson? It will vary from content area to content area, but here is an example for ELA. You would put that action item in this box here. I'm just going to put something vague, mini lesson to reteach the standard. Once I've completed this analysis and action items to take, I'm going to click Save. And now it's reflected in my chart that I've included an analysis and action items to take. If I click on another standard, I can continue to do the same thing. Now, all of the coaches and the district program directors have access to being able to submit comments as feedback to your analysis and action items. If there is a comment linked to this particular standard, you would see those comments here to the right. Anytime a supervisor sends comments, you will receive an email notifying you that comments were made. So by the time that we're done, all of your standards that are below 80% for ELA will have a success rate identified, the analysis of why students may have had difficulty with that particular standard, and action items that you are going to take. And your entire action plan will then be housed here on a digital platform. Again, we're going to go more in depth around specifics and expectations on November 4th, but we wanted you to familiarize yourself with the logistics of the system so that we can delve right into the action plans on November 4th. If you have any particular questions, you can reach out to myself, Mr. Coast, or any of the ELA or math coaches. Look forward to seeing you on November 4th. Thank you.